Welcome to 843 TV. I'm your host, Wayne Morris with WHHI-TV.
And I'm Will Wareham with WHHI-TV.
And today is a very special 843 TV. We're coming to you from Parris Island Marine Corps Base, and it's been a pleasure to be here. We're having a great time.
These doors you only walk through once, and that is as a Marine Corps recruit.
And our first guest is Captain David Murray. He is the Planning, Operations, and Training Director here on Parris Island, and he's going to be telling us all about the history of Parris Island, how the base started and formed, all the way up to their 100th anniversary, which is coming up very soon.
Our second guest is Sergeant Garcia Green, who is the voice of Parris Island. You hear her voice on the PA announcement if you're a Beaufort resident. And she's going to tell us about the events surrounding the 100th celebration.
And our final guest is Joe Lee, who's a town councilman with Port Royal. Obviously, this Marine Corps base is in Port Royal, so he's going to talk to us all about how the relationship with the town and with the base works, and also talk to us about how the town is involved in the 100th celebration. So stay with us. It's going to be a great episode of 843 TV,
where communities come to speak.
.843 TV, where Bluffton comes to speak.
Where Spring Island comes to speak.
Where Hilton Head Island comes to speak.
Where Port Royal comes to speak.
.843 TV,
where communities come to speak. Welcome to 843 TV. We now have the pleasure to be joined by Captain David Murray, who is the Planning Officer, Operations and Training Director here on Parris Island in Port Royal. How are you today?
I'm doing well, sir. How are you?
Thank you for having us. We appreciate it. So this place has a lot of history.
Absolutely.
What can you tell us about the history and founding of Parris Island?
Well, Parris Island here, we have a very rich history. First of all, we were actually a naval base first, Naval Station Port Royal. Marines were first assigned to that naval station in 1891, serving as a guard force to protect the interests of the Navy in securing the dry dock. It was through lobbying of the state legislation that established a Marine barracks in April of 1915. Now, when the Navy migrated north to Charleston, the Marines ended up taking over the base and started the transfer of property. So on October 25th is when we started to transfer property from the Navy over into the Marine Corps, and the Marine barracks headquarters was established. And then from there, on 1 November, the last property from the Navy was transferred over, and we've become the cradle of the Corps ever since, training new Marines going through entry-level training on Parris Island.
Well, we're proud to have you guys here in Beaufort County. So it was was that during the Civil War? It was a naval base?
1891, right? Just slightly after.
Okay, after.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So we, and that's when Marines were first assigned to. But very rich history. I know this site was selected because it has one of the, is very fitting for a naval installation, given our close location to the ocean as well.
Deep harbor. So what are some of the significant events that have taken place here in the last 100 years?
Well, actually the most significant
today.
Absolutely. Well, a lot of these significant events actually take place before that 100 years too. We are the home of the Santa Elena and Charles Fort National Historic Landmarks, which is very unique in itself because those two settlements in the 1560s predate the founding of Jamestown actually too. And that's located right here aboard the base. And that's something that a lot of people don't know or realize, that we have a lot of predated history here as well. In addition to that too, a lot of these bases, the buildings on base are part of this, the National Historic Landmarks, either registered or eligible for them too. So in the historic district further up on the northeast side of the base where the old dry dock is, and you still can see that dry dock and the old buildings, those are very historical and very old themselves too. And we do a lot to preserve that history here. Everything from those old buildings to Quarters 1, which used to be the General's house too. So.
Yeah, we're real proud to have the Marines protect our historic facts.
Absolutely.
Now, why is the Centennial Celebration important?
Well, the Centennial Celebration is important because it's very unique that we have achieved 100 years of continuous recruit training operations. We are the second oldest post in the Corps, which is significant. The oldest post being 8th and I. With 100 years of continual recruit training operations too, we've been there to support all of our nation's major conflicts since World War I. And continuing on. Over the past 100 years, there have been over 1 million recruits that have been trained here and going all over the world to support the various conflicts over that time period as well. So it's a very significant achievement in that, and we look forward to celebrating it, most definitely.
And so how are you planning to do that?
Well, that's the lead in on that one, absolutely.
The way the Marines do it, right?
Yeah. So there's three essential things that we want to tailor to on the Centennial Celebration. One, we have to honor our ties to the Low Country too. It was through the Low Country that, and the solicitation of the Low Country, that we were established first as a naval facility and then a Marine barracks as well. So we want to extend our invitation to Low Country residents, because a lot of people live in this area for a long time and maybe never come aboard base, you know, either playing at the golf course, or they've never seen a graduation, never seen a family day, and witnessed the energy and the patriotism from that, you know, one event. And it's truly amazing if you've never seen it before too. So we want to open that invitation in. Second, we want something for Parris Island alumni, if you will. Once again, a lot of, you know, over 1 million recruits gone through here over the past 100 years. So we want to invite all those you know, former Marines or still active Marines to come back to their roots and experience what Parris Island is now too. And that's an important part of it. And third, and one of the most important things too, are the new Marines and their families. So our main celebration on 14, 15, and 16 October, that's going to incorporate that graduating company as well. And we want to have a big event that has a lot of history tied to it that will continue to tailor to the recruit and their families too, because it's the recruit that makes us, you know, the institution that we are, and that process that we go through as well.
Absolutely. So some of our viewers who may be residents but haven't come on base, do you have anything in particular that you'd like to let them know that they can come to on the 100th anniversary?
Well, we'll be covering those in a couple minutes. Okay. Absolutely. I know on the 14th, 15th, and 16th, there's, I mean, we have, you know, a final golf tournament addition to, you know, witnessing the key events of, you know, the transformation into a United States Marine, from the Family Day ceremony, the motivational run, and then a graduation on that Friday as well, with the addition of an 8th and I performance in the evening too to kind of cap it off. Very cool. So it's going to be a very, you know, very good monumentous event right there.
So you alluded to it a minute ago. Where can our viewers get more information?
Absolutely.
Sign up.
More information can be found on our Facebook page, www.facebook/Parris Island. Very simple from that. And then also on our command webpage as well, mcrdpi.marines.mil. On that webpage, you can see a lot of current happenings on the recruit training base. In addition to that, there's a separate tab for the Centennial Celebration, where you can see a lot of old historical photos, historical articles that are being prepared by our command museum here on the base. And in addition to that too, we have a schedule of events that will detail further information from there.
That's great. Well, I appreciate your time. Thank you for having us. It's always fun to come on base.
Absolutely.
And see the recruits coming in that people can probably hear and see. It's always a pleasure, so thanks for having us.
Absolutely, sir.
And stay with us. We'll be back with more 843 TV.